Rise of Kingdoms developers made it impossible to keep going back to KVK 2 and playing KVK 2 and 3 over and over again until your account is stacked, you are super confident on your armaments, equipment, whatever, and then you are feeling that I can now finally move into Season of Conquest. It's unfortunately, or maybe fortunately for neither players, out of the picture right now, so now you have to go into Season of Conquest way earlier than before. And I think it is important to know what is the bare minimum, quote-unquote, the acceptable equipment for every single troop type. So today that's what we're going to do. We're going to go over the bare minimum equipment that you want to have once you're in Season of Conquest. We're going to have two different configurations. One is going to be like the absolute bare minimum, and the other one is a little bit better. But first, shout out to the maker of this website. I don't know who that is, but I think this is a great website to theory craft your equipment and compare them. I will have the link in the description and pinned comment below. As I said, I don't know who made it, but this is an incredible website. Now, as always, we're going to go with infantry, then cavalry, and then archers. Let's first put together the absolute best infantry equipment that you want to have once you're in Season of Conquest. In my opinion, you should go for 4-piece sets when it comes to infantry gear, which is going to be your weapon, helm, gloves, and boots. And then you want to have a hope cloak and eternal light. Now, the thing is, there is a small thing that you need to know, is that instead of eternal light, this is also really good as well. Leadership pens, once you get it, special talented, a few iconic levels, and that is going to be, it gives health just like Karak's humility, which is the epic legs for infantry. It is pretty good, but of course, since this piece is legendary, you can put an iconic crystal, you can increase that iconic level, and also, once you get a special talented, it's going to boost the stats quite a bit. However, the problem with this configuration is that you also want to have this piece for your archer march or your leadership march if you're going to run a leadership march. With the release of Philip, a lot of people are now considering investing on leadership equipment for a leadership commander, but usually we use it on the archer march, and that's why I'm going to put Eternal Light instead of this, just because you can get it from the equipment chest, and I think your leadership legs is for your archers and leadership marches, because let's be honest, we don't have unlimited materials, we don't have unlimited blueprints, so we are trying to approach this from a... Even for mid-spenders, I think this is the better way to go when it comes to being able to get the blueprint and have the materials in the first place. And also, of course, the reason why we are not going for the KVK weapon and KVK helm for our infantry march is that 4 pieces gives us 10% extra movement speed, and I think it is super crucial unless it is a cavalry march. If it's a cavalry march, it's the fastest troop type in the game, it doesn't matter. But for your archers, for your infantry, I think movement speed is one of the most important things for field fighting, and it's so underrated. Now, from here, how can we make this cheaper? How can we reach to that bare minimum, the acceptable state of gear? First 2 pieces that I'm going to get rid of is the legs and the weapon. For weapon, we do have a very cheap but also a super strong equipment piece, which is the Gatekeeper shield. You can easily get this special talented. As you can, it's a blue item. You're going to have a bunch of extra blueprints, and since you can just dismantle a blue piece or an epic piece and just craft it, because you're going to get all the materials back and you can craft it over and over again, it is perfect. You're going to get a special talented with ease. So this is the first thing that we're going to replace, and the second one is going to be, of course, Karak's humility, because this is also gives us health. If you don't know, the best infantry endgame gear, unless you craft leadership legs, it doesn't give any health whatsoever. So what we are trying to do here is grabbing some amount of health with the best cheap pieces. And the last item that we are going to get rid of is going to be the boots, and instead we are going to craft a frost rest. Again, we are going to get a special talented. Now, the reason, because you might say there's pretty much no difference between the legendary and epic infantry boots versus the legendary and epic infantry gloves. The reason why I go with the boots is because I'm assuming that you will also have a cavalry march, you will also have an archer march, but even though you don't have an archer march, if you only have a cavalry march, for gloves, your cavalry uses Navarre's control, which again, you can get from equipment keys, or you can get it from like loose and screws. So what I'm doing in this scenario is that I'm saving my blueprint, legendary blueprint choice chest for the boots for my cavalry march instead of my infantry march, because for the cav, it is so important, and that's why we are replacing the boots instead of the gloves, because cavalry gloves, it's Navarre's control, you can get it, as I said, from loose and screws or the keys, but for the specific boot slot, I think your cavalry boots, legendary boots, are way more important than the infantry one, so we're going to get rid of the infantry to make this cheaper, and we're going to go with the frost threads. So this is, I think, the bare minimum acceptable version 2. And if you want to make this even cheaper, this time we're going to get rid of the gloves and we're going to craft the Seth Brutality, special talented, of course. So this is what you want to have. If you don't have this, you're going to have some problems. Even this is not that very ideal. You at least want to have the version 2 so that you get 2 pieces from the set, the helm and the gloves. But this is okay. You can build it. You can craft this configuration. And then you can start working towards the better version. And then finally the endgame version. You cannot see the attributes right now, but I can do this. As you can see, we're going to get 38% infantry defense and 21% infantry health. As I said, unless you craft the leadership legs for your infantry march, you're not going to get any health whatsoever. So I think especially Karak's Humility and Gatekeeper Shield, for their cost, they are just amazing. Those are the last 2 pieces that you want to upgrade in my opinion. So this is our infantry version. Now let's move on to cavalry. The endgame cavalry set is pretty straightforward. There are no shenanigans. KVK weapon, KVK helm, set chest, set boots, Navarre's control, and of course, Ash of the Dawn. This, in my opinion, well, not just my opinion, pretty much everyone agrees that this is what you want to work towards. But now, we need to make this cheaper. And in this configuration, the first thing that I will get rid of is going to be, again, weirdly, legs and the weapon. For weapon, we're going to go for Heart of the Saint, which gives 13% cav defense, even without a special talent. But of course, since it's an epic, once you're in Season of Conquest, you should easily get a special talent on it. And for the legs, we're going to go for Gladiator, again, a bunch of health. Now, this configuration is actually so good and you can use it for quite a while. But the problem with this one is the helm is Pride of the Khan and you can only get it in Season of Conquest with season coins. So you technically cannot play your first Season of Conquest with this helm, so we have to get rid of it. However, this can be one of your first upgrades because the thing that we're going to use, again, is going to be a blue item. And of course, stats-wise, there is a massive difference between the blue item and the legendary. Even though I love Expedition War Helm, at some point you want to upgrade it as fast as possible. It gives 6% cavalry defense, even without a special talent. But of course, since it's a blue, easy special talent. And then we're going to get rid of the Navarre's control. We are going to put an Iset Sufferance, 6% cavalry stats. With that special talent, it's even more. And this is going to be your bare minimum. As I said, the cavalry boots are way more important than the infantry boots. That's why I got rid of the infantry set boots and crafted an epic because I needed this. And since we don't have unlimited blueprints, we have to sacrifice something, right? And I prefer to sacrifice infantry boots to get the Hellish Wasteland. And the reason for that is this is such a great item, but the epic boots for cavalry is just, in my opinion, it's just bad. 5.5% cavalry attack. Maybe you don't even craft it. You just use your windswept boots until you craft the legendary one. But yeah, this is going to be chest. And the boots are going to be your first upgrades. It also gives us a 2-piece set bonus. So I think this is really, really good. Very cheap and very effective. But as I said, once you start getting some season coins from your Season of Conquest KVKs, you're going to get rid of this helm. You're going to craft your Pride of Khan. And until then, once you are deep in Season of Conquest, there is a very high chance that you already have the blueprint for Navarre's control. So that's something that you are going to craft, which will leave you with this configuration. I think this is pretty good, pretty strong, and you can use it for quite a while. Last but not least, archers. Now, there are a lot of debates going on with the best endgame archer set, but I'm gonna say this is the best one. Some say go for 2-2-2, 2 leadership, 2 archer set, and 2 regular pieces. Some say just go for 6 pieces legendary set, dragon breath set, and the others, which I'm also a part of, prefers this configuration. Now, this is a little bit weird because we have 3 leadership pieces. What is the point? Because you usually, once you have a piece of a set, you usually want to have either 2 or 4 pieces so that you can get the bonus. 3 pieces is a little bit weird, but this gives you the best amount of damage with the most amount of tankiness. And since archers are usually squishy and they get targeted so fast in the field, I think this is hands down the best configuration if you want to make your archer march still hit decent, but also be as tanky as possible. Now, if we say this is the best endgame set, how we want to achieve this, how we want to work towards this. We will, of course, first get rid of the KVK weapon and KVK helm. Instead, we will go with a revival helm and golden age. They both give defense, easy special talents, pretty good. And from there, I think you can also get rid of the boots and craft flame threads because yes, it is not a part of the revival set, but it gives 5.5% archer health without a special talent, which is amazing. This leaves us with 3 legendary pieces, the Milky Way, the boots, and the gloves. And I think this should be your bare minimum. This should be your acceptable archer set once you get into Season of Conquest. If you want to make this cheaper, of course you can, but I don't recommend it because, again, the same reason. Archers are squishy, and they get targeted super fast because like they killed it with the update that allowed you to see the troop type when you are in dot mode. Because normally back in the day when you were in the dot mode, you could only see like small dots, right? You wouldn't see the march, you wouldn't see the troop type. But now you can see the troop type, and 80% of players play in dot mode since they see this troop type. Obviously, if archers, infantry, and cavalry march in the front line, they will immediately target the archer one. So I would say, even though I believe the archer epics are just so good, since archers are the primary targets, I think this is what you should have bare minimum. We have 2 pieces from the legendary set, so we get a few bonuses. And from our epics, we also get only defense and health, which is also really, really great. Now, before we finish the video, there is also a common question regarding the iconic levels. Let's say you did everything, you got the blueprints, you crafted pretty much every single legendary piece that is included in the endgame set for each troop type. How should we go with the iconic levels? And my recommendation is going to be get your every single equipment piece to level 2. Yes, if you are a rally leader or a garrison leader, you want to go as high as possible, but for most field players, level 2 is just perfect. The only exception is when it comes to your boots for your infantry and archer marches, try to get it to level 5. I think that will be my priority on my accounts at least. I will try to get for my infantry and archer marches, after getting other things to level 2, I will try to get my boost to level 5 so that I can get extra 10%, around 10% movement speed. If of course those pieces are special talented, the movement speed bonus is going to be even more. Because think about it, we didn't craft the KVK weapon and KVK helm for infantry just so that we can get the 4 pieces set bonus and get extra 10% movement speed. And from iconic 5 on your boots, you get even more than 10% if they are special talented. So I think it is quite crucial. So get all your pieces to level 2. This is, I think, what I would do if I want to have the bare minimum, quote-unquote, acceptable gear once I'm in Season of Conquest. Hope you guys liked it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe for more Rise of Kingdoms videos. I see you on the next one. Goodbye.